What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. As you can see, I am barefaced today, and you know what that means. We have a get ready with me, and not just any get ready with me. Today, we are getting ready for the Oscars. Ooh. Just kidding. I'm not going to the Oscars, but I thought that in honor of the Academy Awards, it would be fun to do an Oscar-inspired look. At the beginning of the award season this year, I did ask a lot of you, what celebrity look do you want me to recreate? And a lot of you responded with this fabulous idea, and you said, Sophia, we don't want to see you recreate a celebrity look. We want to see your red carpet look. So that is exactly what I'm going to be doing today, showing you guys my Oscars-inspired red carpet look. I'm going to be showing you guys some of my favorite products that I like to use for special events. So if you guys want to see all of my favorites and see my Oscars-inspired look, then keep watching. All right, party people, let's kick things off. I'm going to pin my hair back. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you are new here. Welcome. My name is Sophia. I do a lot of get ready with me's. I do a lot of makeup, luxury beauty videos, helping you guys save money. I review a lot of products. I do will I buy it style of videos. So if you like makeup, luxury makeup, Sephora brands, anything like that, you are definitely in the right place. So welcome to the channel. And a little bit of background about this look. When I thought about what I would do for a special event look, I immediately thought of this look right here. I'm pretty sure that this is my most liked photo on my Instagram account to date. This is actually a look that I did for New Year's Eve this past year. I went to one of those Gatsby style, like prohibition kind of parties where we dressed up in flapper dresses. And this is the look that I did. It actually didn't take me that long to do. So I wanted to show you guys how I create this really beautiful, soft glam kind of look. It's not too complicated, and I think that you guys can pick up a lot of tips for maybe when you do special event makeup for any other type of event, or if you're just doing a night out and you want to put together a beautiful soft glam look. So let's get things started. I'm going to start off with priming my skin a little bit. I don't go in with too many primers usually on an everyday basis, but this is for special event makeup, so I want this to last all night, and for that I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this one from Urban Decay. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. I just have a little mini one because, like I said, I don't use primer, or at least long wear primer, all that often. This is kind of like a gel formula, and I'm just gonna kind of put it here, especially on my nose, basically in the problem areas where normally the makeup will wear off just a little bit. So I'm not putting a ton on, just enough so that I have a little bit of grip around the nose, around the corners of the mouth, and that kind of stuff. Then I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of the Arc Glow Lust in the shade Selenite. I just have it depotted into this little squeezy bottle right here. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. If you are not familiar with this product, it's absolute magic. It's kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, except it's a lot thicker and more opaque. This is the shade Selenite. By the way, I'm gonna link all these products down below so you do not need to remember the names of them or anything. I like to go in with this just where I have some discoloration. You can see I've got some rosacea right here. I like to go in on top of that to give it a little bit more glow, to kind of blur imperfections. You can mix this right into your foundation if you have a very matte foundation, but I like to kind of just use it as a primer where I need it. And you will not look super duper shiny once you go in with foundation. And it's also very hydrating, so it's not going to dry out your skin. I know for a lot of people for special events, they like to go a little bit more on the matte side when it comes to their foundation. I actually like something that's sort of in between. I don't want it to be too dewy, but I really like glowiness. That's what I really appreciate. I like a nice soft airbrush finish. So the foundation that I'm going to be using today is the one from Haus Labs. I've really been enjoying this. I would say this one and the one from Pat McGrath are probably my two favorites. This one is just a little bit more hydrating, and so I figured we'll use this one today. I'm just stamping that on with this It Cosmetics brush. I know a lot of people usually for special events, they might go for something a little bit more full coverage. I think for me, I like a foundation that I can apply in layers and really build up the coverage just where I need it, because I don't want my makeup to get cakey. I still want that really flawless look to my face, but I really like to build it up. And that's something that I really like about the Haus Labs foundation and also the Pat McGrath, is that it's very blurring, but it's not cakey. It's not so full coverage where it's gonna look like a mask on your skin. That's what you see a lot from makeup artists, honestly, that do makeup for red carpets. They're not usually going in straight up with a very full coverage foundation. A lot of times they're using something and they're kind of like painting it on layer by layer, really getting that perfect coverage for that particular individual that's in the chair. So this is the finish that we are working with for the foundation. It does look kind of dewy, but it's going to set down over the course of this video, and we're gonna put some powder products on top, so don't you worry. For concealer, I like to go in with something that is fairly full coverage and also matte and does a really good job of blurring under eye circles. So I've been using this one for years. I feel like this was very popular and nobody talks about it anymore. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have the little travel size and this is in the shade Snow. This is one of the lighter colors in the range. We already did a pretty good job of concealing with the foundation and the Arc Glow Lust. So I'm just gonna kind of put this where I need it. And this is gonna give us a really nice base as well for when we go in with our eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna blend that in. And I kind of like to blend it down the cheek a little bit, just onto any remaining redness that might be peeking through from the foundation. For this little spot that I have right here, I'm gonna use the Uma Beauty Stay Woke Concealer because this doesn't have any kind of like shiny light reflecting particles. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit on it right there and blend it in because I don't really wanna highlight that spot. I am glowy and perfected. Next up, I'm gonna warm up the face because we gotta add some more warmth and dimension back into the face. And I wanna use a very glowy, but also kind of natural bronzer to add a little bit of a natural glow to the face. I'm going to be using this one from Hourglass. This is actually from one of their palettes. This is the Lighting Edit Sculpture palette. So I'm going to be using this shade right here, but you can get these in singles from Hourglass, even though this palette was limited edition. I think you can still get this palette on their site. So I'll link it down below. It's honestly one of my favorite ones that they've ever come out with. And I just recently got it in their sale this past Christmas. I think that using a powder bronzer, it helps to kind of set the foundation. I love cream bronzers, but for special events, I gotta go with the powders. Like that is what works best for me. And it really just sets everything in place. As you can see, we're seeing some life being brought back into the skin. If you follow me, you know I don't really use a lot of setting powder most of the time, but in this kind of situation, I do like to do a little bit more setting kind of around the eyes, around the nose, just so that we have everything like super duper in place so we can get that longevity and that really perfected look. And in this case, what I like to do is I like to go into my Hourglass palette. I also have some singles as well, and I like to go into the finishing powders that they have. This is what works best for me, and I really like that perfected airbrush look. So in here we have, I believe it's dim light and diffused light, and I'll just kind of bop back and forth between these. And I like to especially use dim light to just kind of blend the bronzer into the concealer and the foundation, just to get a very seamless look. You know how sometimes you can go in with a concealer and it can be a little bit too brightening and you almost need to connect all of the products together? That's basically what I like to do. And I'll also go along the nose. I'll go right here. Next, we're gonna chisel things up a little bit. I'm gonna go in with my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Contour. This is in Intensity 1. And I am gonna add a little definition right here to the cheeks. See how it just gave me that nice, like chiseled look that you always see on the red carpet? To me, this is definitely a game changer. It's like I took away some of the definition by going in with the foundation, which always happens. I love to go back in with this just to give that like natural definition to the cheekbone. And I don't want to go too low. I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make when doing this type of makeup. They go like down here. I recommend going a tiny bit higher than you think because it is going to disperse and blend out. It's just a little tip for you. Next, I'm gonna add some blush because we're doing a bit of a smoky look and a bold lip for this. I don't wanna go too crazy, so we're gonna do a pretty neutral blush. This is the RMS blush in the shade Maiden's Blush. It's one of my favorites. By the way, I have a coupon code for RMS now. If you guys were not able to get the shade that you wanted from Skin Store because I have a coupon for them as well. I now have an official coupon code with RMS, so I'm gonna link that down below. I believe it's for 20% off. And I did a little bit too much on this cheek, so we're gonna even it out. But this blush blends out like a dream. It evens out at the end of the day. I really like these blushes because they have a really beautiful glowiness to them. It's almost like you don't need highlighter because they have such a nice natural glow. And this one, Maiden's Blush, this is the most like neutral out of the entire line. So it is the one that I reach for the most. I have every single shade of these. I know I said you don't need highlighter with this blush, but obviously I'm gonna add some highlighter. I have one of the Dior Forever Couture Luminizers. This is in the shade Pink Riviera. This was a limited edition one, so I don't know if you can get this anymore. They have a lot of very similar shades in their lineup. If you have a deeper skin tone, I also wanted to show you, they have the Rosewood shade, and this one is great too. I like to use this as well, kind of like a glowy blush. But today I'm going to use the Pink Riviera because I think that this one goes really, really good with the Maiden's Blush. It's just very neutral. It's not even really that pink. It's more like a nude. So if you have any kind of nude highlighter in your collection, I think that that will work. But the ones from this Dior line, they're so good. I do have a video swatching every single shade and trying them on my cheeks, so I'll put that in the description box in case you guys want to check these out. All right, friends, so we have the complexion on. As you can see, it's a very neutral complexion. I don't want to take anything away from the eyes and the lips because that's really going to be what we are playing up in this look. So I like to keep, for special events at least, my complexion pretty neutral. I did do my brows off camera just to kind of get something in place so we can build the eye look next. Quick little tip for you guys, if you want a very perfected brow, I highly recommend using a brow pen. And the one that I like to use is the Glossier Brow Flick. This is my favorite. It's the best one that I have ever used. I did just do a full Glossier brand review for you guys, so I'll link that down below. Glossier is at Sephora now, so it's a little bit more accessible than it was before, but this is the product that I like to use to just kind of like get everything super precise and perfected. So that's just a little tip for you all. If you haven't figured it out already, the palette that I'm going to be using today is none other than the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is great for every day. I know a lot of you guys who use this palette every single day. I like to reach for this palette, especially when I'm doing this type of soft glam look. So I'm gonna try my best to recreate this New Year's Eve look. I'm gonna start off with a mid-tone shade. I'm gonna use this one right here that is called Blend. All of these shades are named after what you can use them for, but I mean, I just kind of go with whatever color I want, to be honest. This one is called Blend. There's another one that's called Crease right here, which you can also use. I've had some of you guys say you have this palette, but you struggle with it a little bit, or you wanted to see more looks with it. So here you go. Here you go, friends. Here is a look that you can create with the Glam palette. And I am just lightly dusting this in the crease. I like to get a nice little base here. Nothing too deep or crazy to start off. Next, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Center Eyelid. This is kind of like a mid-tone brown, a taupe maybe. You guys will see here on the eye. It's a super beautiful nude shimmer, and I'm going to be laying that across the center of the lid as it suggests by the palette name. Wow, such a beautiful finish. This is why people love this palette. It's like, that color looks good on everybody. I'm also gonna apply that first matte shade, which was called Blend, to the lower lash line, not going all the way in, but just lightly along the base here. I'm gonna go into the shade Smoke, which is a little bit of a darker brown and a fluffy brush. This is when I'm gonna start to layer in some of the matte shades, and I'm focusing this on the outer corner. I don't want this to be too crazy because I am gonna put on a lipstick at the end, a deep lipstick, but this is gonna add some of that smoke and glamour to the look. I want to mix the brown tones in this palette with a little bit more of like a cooler tone. So I'm actually going to be mixing these two shades together. We've got Outer Eyelid and Lash Line are the names of those shades. So I'm just going to kind of lightly mix that shimmer and that matte together on a little brush. And then I am just adding a little bit, not a ton, of smokiness to kind of like that outer V area. And I'm lightly blending it out. See how it added a little bit more of like a smokiness? That's a tip. Like you can blend the shimmer shades with a little bit of the matte if you want to tone it down a little bit. If you don't want it to be super deep, that is a recommendation that I have for you, friends. See the difference between this eye and that eye? It's subtle, but it's there. This one has more depth. Even when I'm looking straight on, you can see there's a little bit more depth. By the way, this brush is called the Sonia G Mini Booster, and it's exactly for this purpose, to kind of like boost up the look in a very precise way. I really like the fact that this palette, it's got all of the silvers, but also all of the browns that you would need. Really, honestly, the only thing it doesn't have that I would like for it to have is a black. And I like to mix those cooler and more neutral tones together for this kind of a look. I'm gonna take this pale transition shade right here, and I'm gonna use that to kind of blend around the edges. If you have a deeper skin tone, you might wanna go in with a powder. I can use the Hourglass powders as well for this. But because this is right here, I'm just gonna sort of use this first. Next, I'm gonna go in with this light shade here that is called Inner Corner. It's a very nice brightening shade, and I'm gonna do exactly what it says, which is pop that in the inner corner. I also am gonna drag it a little bit down here. I'm not making the lower lash line super duper smoky for this look. If I was gonna do a nude lip, I would make the lower lash line smokier, but for these purposes, I wanna keep the eye kind of open. And you guys will see the lashes that I'm gonna apply are going to further kind of exaggerate this shape that we're creating. Lastly, I'm gonna go in with this other shade that is called Inner Corner, except it's a little bit, you can see it right there, it's a little bit more silvery and cool tone, and I'm going to pop that right in the center here. This is such a good shade for kind of illuminating the center of the lid. So good. You could also add a topper shade. If you have a topper shade in your collection, you could pop that in the center, but I don't want to go too glittery with this. Also, I don't want any fallout because throughout the day, I don't need that glitter all over my cheeks. Sometimes I do that, but I'm going for like a little bit more of like an elegance with this look. So we're gonna go in with that shiny shade. I'm adding just a little bit more of the matte shade to the lower lash line, and I'm mixing it with the brown, which is called Outer Eyelid, that I used earlier. Just want a little bit more. You guys let me know, comment down below. Let me know if you guys would like something that is a little bit more of a traditional, maybe bridal look for this upcoming spring. If you want me to do a get ready with me for that type of look, because I know this is a little bit more glamorous, maybe black tie. Do you guys want another sort of spring, summer, soft bridal type of look that I could come up with? Comment down below, and also let me know, is there a specific palette that you would like me to use for that look? Because I'd be happy to do that as well. Okay, so we have the eyeshadow on. Now it's time for one of the best parts, which is lashes. And sometimes this is the most nerve-wracking for some of us. A lot of you know I don't wear lashes sort of day to day. I work from home. When I'm reviewing eyeshadow and that kind of stuff for you all, I don't want the lashes to take away from the look. But on the weekends and when I go out, if I go out to dinner, if I go, you know, to a party or something like that, I do like to pop on lashes. And the style that I like are lashes that aren't too big and crazy, because I don't know, maybe because I don't wear them every day. I don't feel comfortable with like the really big ones that a lot of other YouTubers wear. I just can't, I feel like I can't pull it off. I like something that's a little more natural, that has a cat eye sort of shape, so that it doesn't cover up all of my lid space and all of the eyeshadow that I spent time doing. And I also am a huge fan of magnetic lashes, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to show you the ones that I have been using. This is a brand called Moxie Lash. They sent me a bunch of their lashes, I think over a year ago at this point, and this is basically like all I use now. Unless I'm using like Ardell, or I really like the new BK Beauty ones. I use that in my Valentine's Get Ready With Me. But more often than not, if I just don't have the patience for the lash glue and all that kind of stuff, I'm using the magnetic lashes. So this is called the Love Kit. They have a couple of kits on their site. This isn't sponsored or anything, by the way. This is what I use. And so let me show you what this kit looks like. You have 3 different styles here. These are a little bit too big for me. I really like the smaller ones here, and then my favorite ones are these, the wifey lash, which is kind of like the mid-size ones. You guys are gonna see what these look like. And this is what I'm wearing in that Instagram post, and it's just kind of the perfect shape. So the way that this works is that I'm going to apply the magnetic liner. I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes for it to dry, maybe 3-ish minutes, and then I'm going to pop on the lashes. And I just wanna show you guys what the liner looks like. It's just like any other liquid liner, except it's a little bit of a thicker formula, but I still find it pretty easy to apply. That being said, I cannot do it on camera, so I'm gonna go apply this off camera, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like, and I'll show you what it looks like when you pop the magnetic lashes on, because it's so cool. All right, so I have the liner on, and while the liner is drying, normally what I will do is I will go in with a very natural single coat of long wear mascara. In this case, I'm using the Cali Ray, but you can use the Chantecaille. I like the Victoria Beckham one. I like the Glossier one. All of those work super duper well. And I just apply, like I said, one coat of mascara. I let everything dry. I also applied just to like the very outer corner here, a little bit of the Chanel Yo waterproof liner in the shade Bois Noir, which is kind of like a black brown. So just added a little bit there. I like to connect the wing to the bottom lash line right there. So that's what I've done so far. Now that the liner has dried for like a couple of minutes, now I'm ready to put on my magnetic lashes. And I do usually trim these a little bit. I'll use the little tool that comes in the kit, and you guys are gonna see these go on so easily. You can adjust them a million times if you need to. You can rewear these a cajillion times. I do recommend maybe after a few times, just like cleaning off the band. There are little magnets, like teeny, you guys aren't gonna be able to see, but like teeny tiny little magnets on there. I will show you. Pop! That's it. It's so easy. And look, you can pull it right off and put it right back on. Maybe a little more precisely than that. It's a little hard on camera, but you guys can see like this is so easy for those of you who aren't good with lashes. This is the easiest thing I've been able to find are magnetic lashes. If you have any other magnetic lash brands that you like, comment down below and let me know. I also recently they have the brown version of the liner, and they also have brown lashes, which is really cool. So I've kind of been playing around with the different lashes. So let me get these on and adjusted, and I'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! This is what they look like. Once again, if you're like me and you suck with the lash glue and everything goes on crooked, so incredibly easy, and they're very comfortable. Lastly, what we gotta do, you know, we gotta do the lips, because I love that beautiful vampy lip, just so glamorous. I like a red lip, but I think that a deeper, more purpley red kind of vampy look, it's a little bit more unexpected. And one of my favorite lipsticks of all time has got to be Velvet Decade from Lisa Eldridge. It's funny because when I posted the photo of that New Year's Eve look, so many of you instantly knew what the lip color was, because a lot of you guys love this color as well. So we're gonna go in with the Velvet Decade. If you haven't tried these lipsticks from Lisa Eldridge, you gotta try at least one. They are so good. Highly recommend any of the reds, Velvet Decade, Velvet Sorcery, Velvet Cinnabar. Those are some of my favorites. All right, friends, I am finished. This is the final look. I have my lip on. I put on some earrings here, took the hair down, put on a little top for you all, because after all, I am going to the Academy Awards and I need to look my best. By the way, this top is from Frame. It's just a really nice sort of classic halter. I did get it on sale, and I think it is still on sale and available. So if it is, I will link it down below. Some of you guys have still been asking me, how do I get my hair to look like this? I just use a very affordable curling wand. So I'm also gonna link that down below, as well as the texture spray that I like to use. This is from Garnier Fructis. I can't find this kind in store anywhere. I can only buy it online. Absolute holy grail. I go through many bottles per year, and this is only $4, and it's better than any luxury texture product I've ever tried. So I'm gonna put that down below. Do let me know if you tried this and you like it, by the way. But this is the final look. Let me know, how do you think I did? Do you think I did a good job recreating the New Year's Eve look? I'm very happy with the way that this came out. I love the way the lashes look, kind of the soft glam, and of course, velvet decade. It's always perfection. But now it is your turn, friends. Sound off in those comments down below and let me know what you thought of this look. I would also love to know any other types of looks that you would like to see in future Get Ready With Me's. If there are specific eyeshadow palettes or products that you want me to demo for you, kind of show you maybe some more ideas about how you could use it, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.